There is some breaking news out of Six Flags Over Georgia that may change the park for the entire 2025 season and beyond. What was supposed to be Georgia Surfer opening spring 2025 has changed into the Georgia Goldrusher with an all-new paint look, new looking trains, a new theme, a new name, and so much more. I'm going to show you it all, including the backstory to this ride, if I think it's good for the park or not, and more. Stay tuned for this update video. A few weeks before we saw that the name Georgia Goldrusher had been trademarked on a public website. This made coaster enthusiasts go crazy with their speculation. Some people thought that Dahlonega Mine Train was being rethemed, some people thought it had to do with Goliath. But this announcement is completely out of left field, and I really don't know how I feel about it. Looking at the paint job from the animation they showed us, in my opinion this looks like a downgrade on the paint job. While overviewing this construction for almost the past year, I got really familiar with the other paint job. They were very vibrant colors that popped and brought a lot of life into the area that was pretty lifeless. Previously, the Georgia surfing theme felt a little out of place for its placement in the park. Just down the road you have a superhero land, a mining land, a steampunk land, and a kids area. The whole surfing thing would have made a lot more sense towards the front of the park next to a ride that's already themed to a storm like Twisted Cyclone. The plot of land where Georgia Surfer is currently constructed sits right next to the turnaround of Dahlonega Mine Train, which is the mining themed old era mine train coaster. Let's take a minute to analyze what we saw in the animation along with the backstory posted on Over Georgia's website. Looking at the animation, the only thing that's actually changed, which from the Georgia Surfer animation seems to be the sign on the station, the colors of the gondola and restraints, and the color of the track and supports. Everything else looks pretty similar. Nothing will have changed about the way the ride ran when it was Georgia Surfer or Georgia Goldrush. The track layout is the same, not that there's much of it, and I don't think you would spend more or less. However, let me tell you a little bit about the backstory and the theming of this ride. You can find this on Six Flags Over Georgia's website on the page for the new Georgia Goldrusher. Take a moment to pause if you want to read the full backstory, but what you mainly need to know is Willie Gibson was an entrepreneur and he needed a way for the miners coming to Georgia to have a fun way to cool off during the hot heat. So he built this. Once again, taking a moment to look back at the animation, I paused on the station and most things still look tropical. The roof of the side buildings are still looking slightly tropical, and there's still like a lifeguard hut just to the side. I still have questions as to why they are retheming a coaster that hasn't even opened yet. They already had all the infrastructure and stuff for Georgia Surfer laid out. I really don't know, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. The tagline they seem to be using for marketing seems to be introducing the new Georgia Goldrusher, the gold standard for fun. And it still says a spring opening, which in my mind means opening day, but I guess it could be later now that they have to repaint the entire thing. If you want to see coverage of the new Georgia Goldrusher coming to Six Flags Over Georgia, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. I should be there opening day to cover the attraction. Make sure you follow and turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. I'll see you then.